Are you waiting on a dream that never starts? I know I did. For 2 years, I mushed around with different ideas on what business to start. And ironically, I ended up starting the business that was my first idea after I went through a whole bunch of different ideas. And what I'd like to talk to you about today is how to go from a bunch of ideas to one refined idea, and then how to take that idea and start to build your customer profile, your ideal customer profile around that idea. But first, who the heck am I? I'm Jen, and I have over 20 years of experience coaching and mentoring in a corporate, fast paced startup environment. I have coached and mentored a variety of people throughout the 20 years that I've been in corporate. And then in addition to that, I also sit on a board of directors for an autism nonprofit. And I've also coached and mentored a variety of different business owners through how to start or how to scale their 7-figure, 8-figure business. So let's get into it. I leverage AI to help me sort these types of things out. And I highly recommend that if you're stuck on what idea to execute on because you've got a bunch of ideas, or because you're a midlifer, you got a ton of experience but don't know how you would take that experience and mold it into type of a business. So whether that type of business be coaching, mentoring, guidance, some sort of different type of digital business, e-commerce, right? There's like 1,000 options that you could build a business in. And so what this prompt I'm going to walk you through is going to help you do is take all that jumble in your head and start to organize it into possible ideas for what you should conceivably start your business in. Now, if you already know what your idea is and what you want to go ahead and start your business in, we're going to get into building your customer profile in a minute. This will just be super quick, so hold tight for about 2 minutes and we're going to go through the idea prompt. So this is the nuts and bolts of the prompt. And what we've got here is basically you want to start with a I'm a type statement. So I'm a professional over 40 who's exploring new possibilities outside of corporate life. I have several personal and professional interests, but I'm not sure how to turn them into viable coaching, consulting, or digital product business ideas. Now, you can start this entry-level statement in a variety of ways, but I highly recommend you start with the I'm a piece of it. That'll be your quickest path to getting to the next bit of this. And this next bit is going to be a lot of answering questions, and it's going to be very free form in nature. So I want to make sure that before you start this process, you have at least 30 minutes available to you. And I would say, actually, you're probably going to want to take a couple hours to walk through this. And what this prompt is going to do is it's essentially AI is going to help you combine or narrow down these interests in 3 to 5 clear business concepts. And then this is what it's going to tell you. So the next piece of this is for you to define your interests, skills, and values. So start with interests. Doesn't have to be 3. It could be 10. It could be 20. The key here and the key with AI in general is that you're as specific as possible. So like if you can't talk about that interest in, let's say, at least four good sentences or a paragraph, it's probably not an interest that you have enough depth in, and it's not flushed out enough for AI to really actively help you with that in a constructive way. So that's the guidance that I would use in terms of framing out your interests here. You want to also do that for your skills. Give a professional background summary again. you're a midlifer, you're 30, 40, 50, 60 plus, you've got some sort of professional background. Now, don't get hung up on the term professional, because professional can mean a variety of different things. But essentially, what you want to focus on is just anything that you have practical, paid or unpaid experience in. And that could be literally anything. But use the 10,000 hours type concept. If you've got 10,000 hours, and don't let that freak you out either. Maybe you're like, I don't know, maybe it's more like 2,000 hours or 5,000 hours. But if you feel like you could adequately teach someone how to do something, that's professional enough. So outline those things in there. And then next, what you want to do is highlight the values you want reflected in your work. So flexibility, impact, meaning, creativity. You want more time with your kids. You want more time to X, Y, and Z. Whatever your values are that you want reflected in your work, go full bore here. Like, this is a dreaming exercise. So don't start with like what you think is possible. Start with what you actually want, and just assume that that's something that's you're able to achieve, because it is something you're able to achieve, unless it's like winning the lottery, and then statistically you have a chance at achieving that, right? But it's hard to say how often you're going to have to play to win, right? And the odds are really stacked against you where something like that is concerned. But seriously, this is an exercise in dreaming and in putting down the big things. Don't limit yourself here. Go full on with your values. And then add any other additional notes that you want to add. Like, you want to build something that feels aligned and purpose driven. These are examples that I had when I utilized this prompt. AI is like a golden retriever. It is extremely helpful, and it's going to do exactly what you ask it to do with as much detail as you give it. So think of it like a golden retriever, I think, is the best example. That dog is going to do exactly what you want it to do to the best of its ability. But that means, as a person in that dog's life, right? Like, you have to give it really good instructions. I think little kids are another really great example here, right? Like, little kids are limitless in their ability to do things, even sometimes before you think they're ready to. But you have to give them really good guidance and really good instruction on how to do that. And so feel free to be really super detailed with these notes. And then what you're going to do once you write this out is you're going to copy and paste it into your AI of preference. If you're like, geez, Jen, like, I have not had a lot of experience utilizing AI, what you're going to do is you're going to pick ChatGPT. That's the easiest one. Pick the highest unpaid version available, although you will get better results with the paid version. It's not necessary. The other one that's really good for this is Claude. So Claude 3.7, Claude Sonnet 4 is amazing at this type of activity. I actually think it's a hair better than ChatGPT's abilities where this type of activity is concerned. But pick either one. You can use Gemini as well. Like, you can't go wrong with picking a platform. There's just some platforms that are a smidge better at this than others. And predominantly everyone, for the most part, has had some experience with ChatGPT. If you hadn't used it before or haven't used it before, feel free to just jump in, go to chatgpt.com, create a logon, and then just go for broke. Copy and paste the sucker in, hit enter, and see what you get back. Now, if you would like some help or guidance, and you actually also maybe just want the prompt, so let's just start with, if you want the prompt, go ahead and comment idea in the comment section here, and I will get you a link where you can access this prompt in terms of getting your ideas narrowed down and smaller, coming up with, I'd say, 1 to 5, 3 to 5 ideas that you can then start to massage and do a variety of exercises around to see if that's something you'd like to start exploring your marketability in that area for, or your ideal customer profile in that area for. And then in addition to that, if you want to just like skip that process and you're like, I would like actual help with this, there's a Calendly link in my description, my video description. Go ahead and click on that, book 30 minutes with me, and I'll help you through this process. You'll need to come to the call having done some amount of this prompt homework. So thinking about your interests, thinking about your experiences, thinking about the values you want your work to have, or the characteristics or qualities you want your work to have or don't want it to have for that matter. And then what we'll do is that we'll massage that into shape and go through this. I'll help guide you through this process. So again, that link will be in the description. Now, once you've refined those ideas and you've spent some time sitting with them, and what I mean when I say sitting with them is specifically you want to just hang out with the ideas for a while. And some of them are going to be more interesting to you than others. They're going to like call to you more than others. And if you're getting that vibe, if you're having that experience with one of them versus another one, then what you can do is go ahead and start massaging that information into your ICP blueprint. So what the heck is an ICP? So this is your customer profile. So this is taking your idea and it's attempting to structure that into something you can research and develop an ideal customer profile around. And so what you're going to do with this is you're going to answer these questions. There's quite a few of them. This is like 2 pages long. And you might be like, oh, this is overwhelming, like too much information, too many questions. But seriously, take some quiet time, take an hour or two to do this. And you're going to talk through the business idea and how that fits you as a person. You're going to talk through, the problem and the market need. And so you're going to talk about what problem does this idea solve for people? Who do you think is experiencing this problem? What do you think is frustrating, expensive, time-consuming, or emotionally painful about these current problems or the solutions to those problems? You're going to think through just who your potential target market is, and then you're going to transform that offer into more clarity by talking through what that potential clients before and after would look like. So what are they going to look like before they start working with you? What are they going to look like after they've done some work with you, or after they've done all the work with you, which will also kind of help you start to define what the work is. In addition to that, you're going to talk through just behavioral traits of the person. What are they tired of? What keeps them up at night? Demographics and lifestyle. So if you think this resonates more with someone of a certain age range, and then also like the buying behavior, like what types of products or services does this person buy? Now, if you get into some of these questions and you're like, I have absolutely no idea what this would be, just literally answer the question like, I don't know how to answer this question. Can you ask the question in a different way? Or can we hold on this question and I'll answer it later? And then what this will do is by entering again this prompt into, I highly recommend Claude or ChatGPT for this work. What this will do is it'll massage this thing that's just this like big idea that's hanging out in space, so to speak, into something more manageable for you to consume